This is gonna be the last time I talk about HC for like until the next update, basically. Like until the next update that actually changes anything about him. This is the last time. I just wanted to like do a little check-in, see how things are going with my guy. Can I stop encountering this character so much? Please, for the love of Christ. I said this was gonna be a chill stream. Come on. You can't like rage bait me like this. I suppose it's actually a good lead-in into Happy Chaos. Okay, I'll make sure to include this because this will be a segment on YouTube. Say hi to YouTube. Notice how many pots I encounter. Even before the 2.0 patch, fighting against Happy Chaoses was not that common. Fighting against Potemkin was very common. This sentence means nothing until further context, but I will elaborate after this set, okay? I just want to do a little check-in and also just vent a little bit, you know? 4 months it has been since Happy Chaos got reworked. And, you know, I don't blame necessarily people for not understanding some stuff, because there's still a lot of misconceptions about him. Like recently somebody was talking about like, oh, this player was abusing the infinite and yet they were complaining about Potemkin being top 1 or something. And then the footage that was linked, I looked at it and he straight up was not doing the infinite. Can I actually get... Dude, is there a way to set Chaos specifically to be Vanquisher 3? Or no? I guess I could set winning character, but it's just funny that like when I search... Every single match here is Happy Chaos is like the lower rank out of the two, you know? Like every single... Look at this. Okay, there we go. We found one. We found one. This used to be a city. Now it's just a ghost town. I saw a tweet that was like showing gunshot whiff, right? On round start. And it was like, Happy Chaos stopped doing this, and all of a sudden, like, his entire player base dropped him, Lamau. It's so disingenuous and shitty. I feel like you're just dancing on the grave of this character that a lot of people stopped playing because he just changed. Like, even if you disagree with the fact that he's, like, not fun anymore or whatever, the character is completely different. So to pretend like it's about the fact that, oh, he's not broken anymore or whatever, it is rage bait. But I also, like, rage bait is always derogatory in my eyes. Like, unless we're friends and I'm rage baiting like as a joke or something, if you post rage bait online for like engagement, you're a bot. You're not a human to me. You're an NPC. I don't know how to explain to people that like I don't care about that. I don't know how to like convey that in a way that will make sense, because I feel like people don't accept it, I guess, when I say it. But like, if I was concerned about Happy Chaos being a low tier now, I would not have hopped on Biken. You know what I mean? I don't really care. I want to play characters that I think are cool. That's it. It's nice when a character is strong, obviously. Like, oftentimes being able to do strong things is cool, but definitely not always. Such as playing Axel. Like, pretty much the entirety of Axel is very uncool to me, despite, like, this shit being insane. Potemkin is not cool to me either. I just wanted to look at what HC plays like now, as well as look at the history of Happy Chaos throughout the years. Because one thing that people have said is that it has been like, he deserved this, you know, this rework, this nerf, whatever, because he's been top tier for 5 years straight, man. It's crazy. This character has been dominating the game entirely. And I want to put some things into perspective and clear up why that's actually not the case. Like, I straight up think that that's completely false. First of all, we already see the play pattern with HC. This is like one of the top Happy Chaoses right now. This isn't unique to Johnny, but a lot of the gameplay is throw curse, pull out gun, and basically like negate neutral completely as long as you have resource. People used to say that that's what HC played like, that like, oh, he could pull out gun and negate neutral completely. And that might have been true for some characters maybe, because like they had a hard time getting around the reticle. But now it's literally true because the reticle can't unfocus. So as long as he has resource, he is as degenerate as people used to say he was before this point. So I feel like the worst has come to pass with my predictions on how he's actually going to play. Before they nerfed the infinites, before they nerfed the portals zoning pattern, I kind of thought that that was what the character was going to be more about, is like the zoning with portals. And that's not entirely true. It's much more about just curse and gun and neutral. Like this, yep, precisely. And then the reticle focuses, and then you just get in sort of until your resource runs out. And then your resource ran out, and now you don't have the advantage in neutral or whatever. But then it's back, and then you can go again. And that's what the character plays like now. So, I mean, I still stand by very strongly that if they nerfed the previous version of Chaos, that he would have been like a character that requires really patient neutral and a really good understanding of defense, which is why Jack was able to dominate with the character so well, because he like is very good, like a very good defensive player. And I think that if they just nerfed the previous version of Chaos, that's what more people would be required to play like. They would be like, the optimal way to play Chaos would be closer to the way that Jack played him, basically, I think. I'm just using him because he's like a good example, I feel, like the most prominent example. I think my predictions about the way the character plays now, optimally, is pretty much correct. And all the previous Happy Chaos players just kind of looked at it and said, not my thing, I don't want to play this. And I feel like people want to pin it on just like, oh, they can't do broken stuff anymore, they can't do degenerate stuff anymore. But like, look at this. Look at the way that this person played neutral here. Look. Is this like, is this the version of neutral that you prefer? Is this better than what was before in the game? Right? Like, he's easier to beat, so if you only care about like beating Happy Chaos and you don't care about the design of the character, you don't care about the game, like, if you don't care about the game, basically, if you care about just like, oh, I don't have to worry about getting beat on by HC anymore as much, maybe your character does well into Chaos or something. But like, this is not, I fail to see how anybody could think this is like a better version of Chaos Neutral than what it was before. So in the end, we kind of get like worse defense than before, much worse offense than before, more degenerate neutral, even though it's like less good, question mark. It's like more reliant on resource, I guess. It's more reliant on just locking your opponent down with a reticle. Maybe there's a better replay of HC. I don't think so. I would be surprised. Well, this is a different player. Let's see what this player does. Pull out gun, wait for it to lock on. Okay, they were too late to press on the reticle. Jack plays Robokai, yeah. He like played Unica for a little bit, and then yeah, Robokai. And Tiger Pop plays Jacko now, although it feels like Tiger Pop is like gonna hop on Tokon and not really play Strive, maybe. Potentially, we'll see. You know, one of my old goals on learning Happy Chaos and learning this game in general, it was actually to beat Tiger Pop. Like, one of the goals that I really wanted was to, you know, to beat Tiger Pop, to get good enough to beat them. But now I don't care about that, because like, they don't play Happy Chaos, I don't play Happy Chaos. So Hazen, I think, is like the #1 HC right now. Yep. Put out reticle, get clone to, or like kind of tower defense yourself. And then, yeah. I'm not cherry picking these replays, by the way, but notice how literally every single one has ended in Happy Chaos losing. Look at this shit. Like, the only thing this character is capable of doing is like this. Until you do like strike, throw, roll, or like 5D. So some of the mix is like, you know, still there basically, in a way. Yeah, Hazen's really good. I think he's the highest ranked HC, if I recall correctly. He's like the only one that's an Imperious. Yeah. By the way, if you want to play Happy Chaos and get good with him and get like top 100, you can. You just need to get into Vanquisher. If you are a Happy Chaos that's playing this game actively and you get into Vanquisher, congratulations, you're top 100. So, it's doable, trust. I think he has like the lowest required elo to get into top 100. I'm pretty sure. Like, lower than Abba, I think. Or like somewhere around Abba's level as well. Lower than Bridget, lower than... I think lower than Tests as well. Yeah, top 50 is also low, yeah. I'm pretty sure like if you have 1700 elo, you are in the top like 30 or something of Happy Chaoses. Or like top 25, top 20 something. So I don't know. So the thing I see is some people saying, well, Happy Chaos deserved it because he dominated the game, right? He ran the servers for 5 years straight. I know this is not going to be a perfect representation of everything, right? So don't, definitely don't treat it as such. But I just want to take a look at the tier lists of the game throughout history. So if we go to Dustloop, we see a compilation of all the tier lists for the game as the game was happening, right? I just want to show something I think is very interesting, okay? Something that I think is very interesting. This is a sociology study, okay? This is going to give insight into the populace and how their minds function, okay? The first tier list that we could see, Happy Chaos is not rated super high because this was just when HC released. So people were still figuring him out. He's a technical character. People didn't know the full potential of him, but they were already rating him like as being kind of okay, right? This is LK's tier list. This tier list that puts him at a high tier, not like among the top tiers, but high, is from the middle of 2022. Okay? Keep that in mind. So this is like exactly 4 years ago. This is exactly 4 years ago. But quickly, he is put basically at top 1, right? Just it takes a couple of months for people to put him like consistently as just top 1. And this keeps happening for across all these tier lists. Well, not this one. I don't know what was happening in Japan, but this is like the sole exception here, right? But like everybody's opinion of HC was that he is undoubtedly, undeniably top 1. And you're seeing all these tier lists and going, damn, that shit lasted for a really long time, hasn't it? Wow, that's crazy. Okay, I mean, sometimes he's like top 2 or whatever, but still, right? Very, very high among the placements. And then what happened, right? Low mid tier, like this is like a top 10 placement or like somewhere on mid tier. So from this point forward, HC is rated either as like a mid tier or a high mid tier most of the time. How long did this period last where he was actually like a top 1? Well, this tier list, the last tier list that like these two, were posted around January 2024 or like the end of 2023. So the period where HC was like a top 1, top 2 character lasted for about 1.5 years. 3 years ago. This period lasted 1.5 years from 4 years ago to 3 years ago, like somewhere around there. And from that point on, nobody places him at like a top tier among the other top tiers that have been in the top tier for the entire time. Ramlethal, Nago, right? Like these characters have appeared at the top for the entire game's duration, consistently for the entire time that the game existed, before Happy Chaos got even introduced into the game. And they remain at the top after Happy Chaos gets bumped down by a bunch. And he kind of makes his way back to close to the top tier, like towards the end of season 4, I'm pretty sure. But like, you see how, like, and this one doesn't include it, but like SQ, for example, also, who used to place him as top 1, SQ also placed him at like top 10-ish, kind of, around season 4 times, at least early season 4. So it's not like, this is not cherry-picked to any degree at all, right? He's still good, but he's not like dominating the game for real. And these are the ratings of top players who have to deal with Happy Chaos at his highest peak. And he's a technical character. So this is not the experience of the average person playing the game. However, one thing you also might notice is that around the same time, Potemkin started being top 1, like very strongly. And you might see, okay, this is a lot less tier list placements for Pot being top 1 than Happy Chaos. And the reason for that is because nobody plays the game anymore. It has been a year and a half, right? Since season 4, patch 2. It's been a year and a half since Potemkin has been top 1 in the game. And he's going to continue being top 1 until the next patch. Whenever that happens, we don't know when. So at this point, Potemkin already exceeded the time that Happy Chaos was at top 1. Because it's so, like, I'm telling you, right now, I just fought people in Diamond and it was pots. It was just a bunch of Potemkins. Potemkin is so much more popular than HC. He's so much more belligerent. He's so much easier to play and get like good results with. And the reason why I think HC got this reputation is literally because people just don't care about the game nearly as much anymore. So they don't really care that Pot is like this top tier still and is dominating the game so effortlessly. Because the peak of Guilty Gear Strive was at around 2022, 2023, which is when Happy Chaos was at his peak as well. Like the game's popularity was like at its highest around 2022. And a lot of people stopped playing the game and just like kind of dropped off of it naturally over time. So they never even saw the nerfed versions of the characters, right? Like I sometimes I play casual matches with people and they have no clue. Like they are not updated on the meta at all. They don't know the changes to the characters. They like I've played sets with people who literally did not even know that Happy Chaos got reworked. They like heard about it, but they didn't actually know what he does, right? Or at most they heard that he does an infinite, which like nobody did anyway. Which again, I'll say this like as a last note, but the infinite was allowed at Evo Japan and nobody did it, right? Like people complained about it and they laughed about it and memed on it and said, "Oh my God, like they just can't kill Happy Chaos. They have to, they have to give him more broken shit." And then there was not a single Happy Chaos in top 8 at Evo Japan, despite this quote unquote broken infinite that he had. I don't know. I'm really bitter about like the character perception, I guess, because it feels like Happy Chaos got kind of scapegoated. Oh yeah, and another reason why, besides the popularity of the game at the time, why I think he got scapegoated like this is because he is a selfish technical character. I think people just have a lower tolerance for that kind of thing. When a character is like Asuka or like Jacko or something, or like Zato, like people have a lower tolerance for a character that feels like they are very oppressive and don't let you play the game the way that you want to play the game, on top of just being well-rounded. So like his archetype feels a lot more toxic than he actually turns out to be in practice. Like a very common experience for me was people complaining about the character and saying, "Oh, there's just no counterplay," when they just don't know the counterplay, right? And that was the same experience when I had to explain to somebody what the infinite was. Because they were like, "Look at this, video where this guy gets hit by the infinite," and like I think it was left end, which like, if you hate left end, that's fair, right? I don't care about that. Like, I'm not gonna start talking about the drama and all that. It's irrelevant to me. But I just saw it and I was like, the player that Leffen was fighting was complaining about Leffen, saying, "Oh, there's no counterplay." But they framed Leffen as being the whiny one for complaining about, their character. While they were misrepresenting how Happy Chaos played. Like, they didn't know how Happy Chaos played. They didn't. They were doing, like, bad things that don't work against them and complaining about the character. And I was like, dude, how are people siding with this? How are people not just calling you, like, rightfully, you should be called a scrub, right? Like, you're complaining about a character that you could beat, that is a winning matchup for you, that you, like, it's just, I don't know. I'm kind of soured on it, because I feel like people don't think very deeply about, like, character design in that way. And just as long as the character is easier to beat than before, they're like, "Oh, thank God I don't have to fight HC anymore." So I don't know. That's it. I kind of, I don't really want to talk about HC more than this. I just wanted to get it like off my chest, all the thoughts that I had, because I've been brewing on it for a bit, thinking about it. I've been looking at gameplay of Happy Chaos to see if I could see myself playing him. But again, you know, observe the gameplay, right? It's like this hybrid zoner thing, kind of, but in a way that's so much less engaging to me than old HC. Which, don't get me wrong, when playing old Happy Chaos, I also liked pulling out the reticle sometimes. But the difference was that it was actually escapable. Like, you could just outrun it, or it was like a threat, but it wasn't a certain lockdown, you know? Whereas now, if you don't hit Happy Chaos before the reticle locks on, you just have to hold down back, basically. Or risk, like, backdashing it. So the play pattern is just so much less engaging, I think, for both parties. I don't know. And I feel like they won't rework it. I would be shocked if they do. If they rework it again, so I feel like the character is just a little bit dead forever, maybe. I wish that Happy Chaos players complained more, because when they took away Potemkin's Karas, they gave them back. Potemkin players complained, rightfully so, and they got them back, you know? I just wish the same happened for HC, but I can't see a world where that occurs, so... So until then, I'm not gonna attach myself to characters quite as much. Although I'll keep, I'll keep tuned in. I'll see what happens. Yeah, I feel like I think I voiced everything I wanted to. I feel like that wasn't very structured, but I don't know. I'll only talk about him more if they do like a big patch that changes him again in some kind of big way. Don't know how. We'll see.